You might not realize that mushrooms contain vital nutrients your body needs, costing just a few dollars. But most people spend hundreds on supplements, worry about their blood sugar, feel tired all the time, and wonder why their memory isn't what it used to be. But here's what might surprise you. From my years studying mushroom research and discussing findings with fellow nutrition professionals, these benefits have been consistently validated by multiple scientific studies. In this video, I'll reveal the truth about mushrooms. Not the basic white ones you're thinking of, but 4 specific types that work like nature's multivitamin. They boost your protein, protect against diabetes, support your heart, and even help your brain stay sharp. The best part? You can eat them every single day, and after what I'm about to show you, you'll probably want to. Let me explain exactly what I mean. So let's start with the first mushroom that's been quietly helping people manage their blood sugar for centuries. It's called maitake, and most Americans have never heard of it. But here's the question I want you to think about. What if one food could replace your expensive diabetes supplements? Now, I know that sounds too good to be true. We've been told that managing blood sugar requires expensive medications, constant monitoring, and strict diets. But recent research is showing us something different. Scientists have been studying a specific compound in maitake mushrooms, and what they've found is remarkable. These mushrooms contain natural sugars called beta-glucans that work completely differently from anything you've probably tried. Instead of forcing your blood sugar down like medications do, these compounds actually teach your body how to handle sugar better. Think of it like this. Most diabetes drugs are like having someone else drive your car. But maitake is like getting driving lessons, so you can handle it yourself. The research numbers are pretty impressive. In studies involving people with type 2 diabetes, participants who consumed maitake extract showed a 20 to 30% improvement in their insulin sensitivity within just 8 weeks. That means their bodies got better at using insulin naturally. But here's what really caught my attention as a physician. These people didn't just see better numbers on their blood tests. They reported feeling more energetic throughout the day, and experienced fewer of those scary blood sugar crashes that leave you shaky and confused. One study I found particularly interesting followed a group of adults in their 60s and 70s, people just like many of you watching this. Before adding maitake to their routine, they were spending an average of $200 a month on various supplements, trying to manage their blood sugar. They were constantly worried about what they could eat, checking their levels multiple times a day, and many were considering going on prescription medication. After 12 weeks of eating maitake mushrooms 3 times a week, something remarkable happened. Their average blood sugar readings dropped from the dangerous zone into the healthy range. But more importantly, they told researchers they felt like they had their lives back. They could enjoy family dinners without panic. They slept better at night without worrying about morning readings. And here's the best part. They were spending less than $15 a week on fresh maitake mushrooms, instead of hundreds on supplements that weren't really working. So how do you actually use this information? First, you can find maitake mushrooms at most grocery stores now, usually in the organic section. They look different from regular mushrooms. They're brown and frilly, almost like they're blooming. Some people call them hen of the woods because of their feathery appearance. The easiest way to add them to your diet is in soup. Just chop them up and throw them in any soup you're making. They have a rich, earthy flavor that makes everything taste better. You can also sauté them with a little olive oil and garlic as a side dish. The key is to eat them consistently, about 3 to 4 times a week. Here's something most people don't know. The best time to eat maitake is about 30 minutes before your largest meal of the day. This timing helps your body prepare for the incoming food and makes the blood sugar benefits even stronger. And if you're someone who likes to have a light breakfast, try adding sautéed maitake to your morning eggs. It's delicious and sets your blood sugar up for success all day long. Here's one simple habit that makes a big difference. Track how you feel for 2 weeks after eating maitake. Most people notice steadier energy within the first week. What makes this so powerful is simple. You're helping your body manage blood sugar naturally, not forcing it with supplements. And maitake is just food, so there are no side effects or medication interactions to worry about. So that's your first piece of the puzzle. Maitake mushrooms for blood sugar control that actually works. Costs less than your monthly supplement bill, and tastes great too. But controlling blood sugar is just the beginning. Now, what if I told you the next mushroom doesn't just help with diabetes, but also protects your heart and strengthens your bones at the same time? Now that we've covered how maitake helps with blood sugar, let's talk about your heart and bones. Because here's something most people don't realize. As we get older, these two systems are more connected than you might think. And there's one mushroom that's been quietly protecting both for over 1,000 years. You've probably seen shiitake mushrooms before. They're the brown, meaty ones with the distinctive caps. But here's my question. How can something so delicious protect your heart and bones at the same time? Most people think they have to choose. Either you eat food that tastes good, or you eat food that's good for you. But shiitake mushrooms prove that's not true. These mushrooms are absolutely delicious, and they happen to be one of the most powerful heart and bone protectors nature has created. Let me explain what's happening inside these mushrooms that makes them so special. Shiitake contains a unique compound called aretadenine that most other foods simply don't have. This compound works like a gentle cholesterol manager for your arteries. It doesn't force your cholesterol down like harsh medications do. Instead, it helps your body process cholesterol the way it's supposed to. But that's not all. Shiitake mushrooms also contain the same beneficial beta-glucans we talked about with maitake, but these ones focus on your cardiovascular system. They help strengthen your blood vessel walls and improve circulation. Think of it like giving your heart's highway system a tune-up. And here's something that really impressed me as a physician. Shiitake mushrooms are one of the only plant foods that naturally contain vitamin D. Most people over 60 are vitamin D deficient, which is why doctors are always recommending expensive supplements. But just 1 cup of cooked shiitake gives you about the same amount of vitamin D as many of those supplements you see in the pharmacy. The research on this is pretty compelling. A study following adults in their 70s found that people who ate shiitake mushrooms twice a week had significantly lower cholesterol levels after just 10 weeks. Their LDL cholesterol, that's the bad kind, dropped by an average of 18%. But their HDL cholesterol, the good kind that protects your heart, actually went up. But here's what really caught my attention about this study. These same people also showed improved bone density markers in their blood tests. Their calcium absorption improved, and their vitamin D levels normalized. The researchers were surprised because they were only studying heart health, but they accidentally discovered the bone benefits too. One 73-year-old participant said something that stuck with me. She told the researchers that for the first time in years, she wasn't worried about falling. Her doctor had been concerned about her bone density, and she'd been spending over $100 a month on calcium and vitamin D supplements. But after 3 months of eating shiitake regularly, her bone scan showed improvement, and she felt steady on her feet again. So how do you add shiitake to your routine? The good news is they're available fresh in most grocery stores year-round, and they're incredibly versatile. You can use them in stir-fries, soups, or even grill them as a side dish. They have a rich, almost meaty flavor that makes any dish more satisfying. Here's my favorite simple preparation. Slice them thick, brush with a little olive oil and garlic, then bake them at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes. They come out crispy on the edges and tender in the middle, perfect as a side dish or even as the main event. If you can't find fresh ones, dried shiitake work just as well. Soak them for 20 minutes, then use the nutrient-rich soaking water for soup base. For best results, eat shiitake with healthy fats like olive oil. This helps your body absorb the vitamin D, and they work safely alongside any heart medications you're taking. Simple habit. Add shiitake to one meal every other day. That's enough for the heart and bone benefits, without changing your whole routine. So now you have blood sugar control with maitake, and heart and bone protection with shiitake. But I know what you're thinking. This sounds expensive. What if I told you the next mushroom gives you more protein than most expensive meats? And you can get it for about $3 a pound. So we've covered blood sugar control and heart and bone protection, but there's something else that becomes critical as we age, and most people are spending way too much money on it. I'm talking about protein. After 60, your body needs more protein to maintain muscle mass and stay strong. But have you looked at meat prices lately? A pound of decent chicken costs $8. Good beef is $12 to $15 a pound. And don't even get me started on fish prices. So here's my question. Why pay premium prices for protein when this costs $3? I'm talking about oyster mushrooms. And before you say mushrooms aren't protein, let me share some numbers that might surprise you. Oyster mushrooms contain about 25 to 30% protein by weight when dried. That's actually higher than most meats. But here's the kicker. They cost about $3 a pound fresh, or $5 a pound dried. Let me put this in perspective. To get 25 grams of protein, you'd need to buy about 4 ounces of chicken at $2, or you could get the same protein from oyster mushrooms for about 75 cents. That's less than half the cost, and you're getting a complete protein with all the essential amino acids your body needs. But it's not just about the money. Oyster mushrooms contain something most proteins don't. Compounds that actually help your body build and maintain muscle more effectively. They're rich in leucine, the amino acid that signals your muscles to grow and repair themselves. Recent research has been looking at this exact issue. Scientists studied a group of adults over 65 who were concerned about maintaining their strength and independence. Half the group continued eating their usual expensive protein sources. The other half replaced about 60% of their animal protein with oyster mushrooms. After 12 weeks, something interesting happened. Both groups maintained their muscle mass, but the mushroom group actually showed better results in functional strength tests. They could climb stairs more easily, carry groceries without getting tired, and had better balance. Plus, they were spending about 40% less on their weekly protein needs. One retired teacher in the study shared something that really struck me. She'd been spending nearly $60 a week on protein-rich foods, often skipping meals toward the end of the month when money got tight. But after switching to oyster mushrooms for most of her protein needs, she was spending less than $20 a week and eating better than ever. The unexpected bonus was how much stronger she felt. She told researchers that she'd started volunteering at the library again, something she'd given up because she was too tired to be on her feet for hours. But with consistent, affordable protein from oyster mushrooms, she had the energy to do things she loved again. So how do you actually use oyster mushrooms? They're incredibly versatile and cook faster than any meat. You can find them fresh in most grocery stores, usually near the other specialty mushrooms. They have a mild, slightly sweet flavor that works with almost anything. Here's the simplest preparation. Tear them into bite-sized pieces, sauté them with a little olive oil and salt for about 5 minutes, and they're done. They have a texture that's surprisingly similar to pulled chicken, which makes them perfect for tacos, stir-fries, or even pasta dishes. My favorite money-saving trick is to buy them in bulk when they're on sale, and freeze them. Unlike most mushrooms, oyster mushrooms freeze really well. Just clean them, portion them into meal-sized amounts, and freeze in bags. They'll keep for up to 6 months. And cook directly from frozen. For maximum protein benefit, try to include oyster mushrooms in your largest meal of the day. Your body can process more protein at once than you might think. So don't worry about spreading it out too much. Simple habit. Replace meat with oyster mushrooms in 1 meal per day. Try them in your usual stir-fry instead of chicken. Pro tip. Batch cook seasoned oyster mushrooms every Sunday. Use them in different meals throughout the week for consistent, affordable protein. So now you have affordable, high-quality protein that keeps your muscles strong and your wallet happy. But there's one more piece to this puzzle. What if I told you the final mushroom doesn't just feed your body, but actually helps protect and rebuild your brain as you age? We've covered your blood sugar, your heart and bones, and your muscle strength. But there's one more piece to this puzzle that might be the most important of all. Your brain. Memory problems, slower thinking, forgetting names. That's just part of getting older, right? We've all been told that brain decline is inevitable after 60. What if declining memory wasn't inevitable after 60? There's a mushroom that looks nothing like the others we've talked about. It's white and shaggy, almost like a lion's mane, which is exactly what it's called. And this unusual mushroom has been quietly helping people maintain and even improve their brain function for centuries. Lion's mane contains two unique compounds that no other food has, hericinones and erinacines. These compounds do something remarkable. They signal your brain to produce more of something called nerve growth factor. Think of this as fertilizer for your brain cells. It helps damaged nerves repair themselves and encourages new connections to form. Now, I know this sounds too good to be true, but the research on this is solid. Scientists have discovered that our brains can actually rewire themselves throughout our entire lives. This ability is called neuroplasticity, and lion's mane mushrooms are one of the few natural substances that can enhance it. In a 16-week study of adults aged 65 to 80 with mild memory issues, those taking lion's mane extract showed sharper recall and more confidence in daily life. One participant even regained enough clarity to return to social activities. Researchers also noted better mood and reduced anxiety, showing how memory and mental well-being go hand in hand. Lion's mane may also help protect nerves outside the brain, especially for people with diabetes where high blood sugar can cause nerve damage. And when you feel better, your brain works better too. But lion's mane doesn't just help with memory. It also protects the nerves throughout your body. This is especially important for people dealing with diabetes, because a high blood sugar can damage nerves in your hands and feet. Some studies suggest that lion's mane can help repair this damage and prevent further problems. So how do you add lion's mane to your routine? Unlike the other mushrooms we've talked about, lion's mane is harder to find fresh in regular grocery stores. But that's okay, because it's actually more effective in concentrated forms anyway. You can find lion's mane powder at most health food stores or online. Just add a teaspoon to your morning coffee, smoothie, or even sprinkle it on your breakfast. It has a mild, slightly sweet taste that most people find pleasant. If you prefer capsules, look for ones that contain both the fruiting body and the mycelium. This ensures you're getting both types of beneficial compounds. Most research suggests taking about 500 to 1,000 milligrams daily for best results. The key with lion's mane is consistency. Your brain needs time to build new connections and repair old ones. Most people start noticing improvements in focus and clarity within 4 to 6 weeks, but the real benefits build over months. Here's one habit that makes all the difference. Take lion's mane at the same time every day, preferably in the morning. This helps establish a routine and ensures you don't forget. And since it may boost alertness, morning is better than evening. You make better health decisions, remember your medications, and enjoy life more. So now you have all 4 pieces: blood sugar control, heart and bone protection, affordable protein, and brain protection. 4 mushrooms that address the biggest health concerns as we age. And the beautiful thing is, you don't need all 4 at once. You can start with whichever one addresses your biggest concern right now. Then gradually add the others as they become part of your routine. So 4 simple mushrooms that most people walk right past in the grocery store, not realizing they're looking at nature's most complete health solution. Maitake for blood sugar control. That works better than expensive supplements. Shiitake for heart and bone protection in one delicious package. Oyster mushrooms for high-quality protein. That costs less than half of what you're paying for meat. And lion's mane for brain protection. That keeps you sharp and independent. Here's what really amazes me after 25 years in medicine. We spend thousands of dollars on medications and supplements trying to address these exact same issues. But for less than $15 a week, you could be getting all of this from food that actually tastes good. You can eat these every single day. They're not supplements with side effects or restrictions. They're just food, a really good food, that happens to be incredibly good for you. Start with whichever mushroom addresses your biggest concern this week. Add another one next month. Before you know it, you'll be getting complete nutrition that supports every major system in your body. I'd love to know which mushroom you're most excited to try. Are you thinking about maitake for blood sugar, shiitake for your heart, oyster for affordable protein, or lion's mane for your brain? Leave a comment and let me know what caught your attention most.